You're watching PowerNation.
Today on Music City Trucks, we get surgical on our Super Cheyenne as we slice and dice our frame, then stitch it back together, converting our long bed Chevy into a short bed.
Plus, we dig on a sweet piece of old iron with some modern touches.
Hey everybody, welcome to Music City Trucks. Well, today we are hard at work on our 72 C10 project. And last time, well, we got all of our new parts on this cross member here from Porterbuilt and topped it off with these brakes from EBC.
And to complement this beautiful drop member you see from Porterbuilt in the front, we're gonna put a drop member in the rear here. And that includes their step notches, rear frame rails, and it also sent us over their shortening kit that's gonna turn this from a long bed to a short bed. It's gonna get us in the weeds, but the first thing we gotta do is get rid of those trailing arms.
Yeah, I'm gonna get these some deep creep on these bolts here.
I think that'll do the trick.
To help break the metal surface tension, we're gonna use some SeaFoam deep creep. Now this stuff is a good penetrant, but it also works as a good lubricating oil. Now these control arm bushings right here, we could shoot some on this if we're gonna use this in the future, because those bushings, well, I've actually had them fail on me and it created drive shaft issues with a two-piece drive shaft in one of these units right here. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second and then we'll break those loose.
Look at that.
There we go.
Hello.
We're gonna knock this one out and it may
Be dramatic.
spring out.
May do some stuff.
See what happens. Watch your toes. 1, 2, 3. There it goes.
All right, with our trailing arms dangling here, we can start shortening this frame. Now, PB Fab, the first thing you gotta do with their kit is get rid of this cab mount and the front bed mount. Now, they're held on by rivets. We've showed you before how to get rid of those, but let us show you again. First thing we like to do is cut an X in those rivets, and it helps get them out of there. All right, with our X's cut, we can pop them off with an air chisel.
Some might think this is too long, but it's actually just right. Ain't doing nothing. Aha.
I think it's template time.
All right. All right, the existing holes for the cab mount serves as a starting point for this template. So we've got the bolts in here. We'll get it all tightened down. And let's see here. Now we can go through and drill out the rest of the holes needed on that template. Landed.
Never throw it in dry.
With our template fully bolted into place, now it's time to get our cuts on. Got a little bit of life on my blade left.
What's that? Up next, we slide our frame back together and suture it up.
Well, we've got our section of the frame cut out, and if you remember, we're taking our long bed and converting it to a short bed. Now, I've talked to a lot of you guys, and you want to do that, but you're just kind of scared about cutting the frame, maybe hesitant. I don't know, Anthony, did you have any regrets about cutting this frame?
Any reservations? No. I say you cut them all. Every single long bed, make it short bed.
Right, yeah, if you can cut metal, you can cut this and make your long bed a short bed.
Yeah.
Now, to complete this, we've got these brackets here from PB Fab. They're gonna slide right in here. We're gonna get some bolts in, and then we'll marry the two back together.
Couldn't be any easier.
All right, let's connect these two here.
Come on up. About an inch. A little bit more. Yep. More. Yep.
Bingo.
Yeah. All right, now that we have our backing plates in here from Porterbuilt, we can go ahead and start welding them in. Before I do that, I went ahead and clamped this to make sure everything's tight, square, and true, and then we'll have a nice weld when we're done. Also, another thing I like to do whenever I'm doing a seam like this, whether it's vertical or horizontal, I like to have a little gap on a butt weld, the thickness of the material. So the gap should be close to the thickness, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little bigger if you can weld it, and then you'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and get this tacked in. Well, all right, now that we've got our chassis shortened and it's all welded up, we can start moving back here. Now, what we're gonna do for this rear drop member, first step, is gonna be putting this thing in. And what this is called a step notch. Now, basically all it is an oversized C notch, which we did install in our 632 SS build. So you wanna go check that video out, you'll be able to see one. And all this allows us to do is get lower than a standard C notch is gonna allow you to do.
Yeah, before we get these in, there's a few things we need to get out, like this cross member up front, it's got the shocks on it, and this cross member in the back. So let's get those rivets cut and get those knocked out, and then we can get these in place.
Right on. Yeah, the old plasma cutter's looking pretty good right about now.
Well, get the thing out.
Okay.
Just torch it.
Let's torch it.
Torch it.
All right, what's the worst that can happen? Ready? There we go. All right, we got separation. All right, you want to go up with that lift there, Mike?
Here we go.
All right, that should be good.
That'll clear.
All right, you want to throw it in reverse? Beep, 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 beep. All right, get that out of here.
Back on the jack stands. There we go. All right.
Let's see if we can get this.
There she goes. Custom exhaust out of here. We show you a sweet old Chevy with some unique characteristics. Now, our C10 is a long way from hitting the streets, but one you might see cruising up down Broadway's this 1947 3100 from Diggs Rod Shop. Check it out.
PowerNation, under the hood. is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment.
Before this project turned heads, it was just rolling steel and a vision.
Woo-wee. Now this is a classic. How you doing, Cassidy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Man, I tell you what, this thing is clean. So what year is this one here?
This is a 1947 Chevrolet pickup, short bucks.
47. I mean,
47.
you start doing the math, we're getting on up there in years,
Yeah.
right? But man, these are super clean. The lines on them.
Yeah, this one's sitting on an Art Morrison chassis with vintage air, power windows, power brakes, screws, you know, all the amenities a new car would have.
Yeah, the first thing, the color. Now, what this is not like a red or a black. There's some mixture going on here. What kind of color we got officially?
Well, we call it a bronze. It's like a Zeiser bronze. The gentleman that owns this truck's last name's Zeiser, so.
Gotcha.
We
custom made it for
we
him.
custom made it in our paint bank.
Now, the wood in that bed, that doesn't look like standard bed wood. It looks like it's got some character to it.
Nope, this is barn wood. It was out of the floor of their great-grandfather, I believe, his hayloft in his barn.
Wow.
And they said, I think they told me that barn was over 100 years old.
Wow, so that really makes it personal.
Yep.
That
then,
puts the cherry on top.
Yeah,
right
and then this is all hidden hardware strips, so you don't see any bolts or anything
little
in there.
channel, it pops down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys, they do a lot of different things with the tail lights, but putting them up here in the bed and hiding them down there in the bottom.
They didn't want anything in here. They wanted this to all look original.
Right.
These we got from Jesse Greening, Greening Auto. These are really nice pieces. So this unscrews, there's an LED light comes out, and all the wiring is hidden up inside of here, so you don't see any of it.
Right. He makes some good stuff.
He
down
does.
there.
Those are probably the best looking taillights I've ever seen on one of these trucks. Yeah, and then when we put this bumper on, the customer wanted to put this filler panel in here, fills all that up, makes it real nice.
Right.
Which I really like. And then I took the front license plate bracket, flipped it around, bolted it here on the rear.
How much time and labor is going into making this polished up to this system?
Well, we did this truck in 11 months, start to finish.
Wow. Y'all did all the interior work as well, right?
I did that too, yes. This is my second full interior job ever.
Wow. The door panels, all the armrests. Now, I look at the brake pedal there. Typically, you think of a brake pedal, it's got an arm that swings up to the dash, but this one is going down.
That's all up underneath, and it's all Wilwood Master, full Wilwood brakes.
So the master cylinder is actually down by the frame rail.
The floorboard, yes, sir.
Yeah. So that kind of gives it a little bit cleaner look underneath there. There's a button here on the side here. What does that button do?
That's for the header cutouts.
All right. Well, now we're talking.
Yeah.
We got to get some noise out there.
When we put those in, the dad wanted those, and he was hiding them from his boy because they were built. This was a father-son project.
Right.
And we got it wired up, and I started it one for him, and they came down. He's looking at the exhaust, and he's like, what are those under there? And we're like, oh, that's for emissions. And he's like, no, it isn't. And then I hit the button and opened them up, and he started laughing. His dad was laughing. It was pretty funny. Underneath here, we've got all of our electronics and our wiring and
all the brains. That's the stuff I like right there.
all the things that make all the modern amenities work.
Right. We got your power taps there. Got your fuse, your relay center. Got the brains for the computer over there with the fuel injection, and you can work on it.
Yeah, that's the nice part.
Right.
Yeah, right here's so if you ever got a dead battery sits under the floor, you can't get to it. So we added those.
Yeah.
It has a speaker box in the back. They wanted a modern stereo, but they didn't want to see it, so we added the cover so it folds down. It's got a doubled-in stereo in it with navigation and all the amenities there.
Wow, because you don't see any of that right now.
Nope. Then when you're done, you just reach under here, you hit this button again, it goes back up, and you can't see any of it.
And you had to engineer all the hinges and the motorized
we used
portion of that.
We used the hinges from the glove box, and then we had to figure out the ratio for the arm.
Right.
It has a electric actuator bolted to the firewall with a cable that comes around, and then it has limits that are set in it. So,
you know, it takes a lot of time, but those little unique things right there really set it apart. Well, I mean, the exterior is super smooth, super clean. Now, I'm guessing underneath the hood, we're gonna see the same thing.
Oh yeah.
All right. Definitely an LS power, right?
Yes, sir. This is a Blueprint 427 stroked LS3. The dyno sheet said it made 640 horse, somewhere in that range.
Right.
We got a 4L60 transmission behind that, going to a fast shaft drive shaft into a strange 9-inch rear end all on Art Morrison chassis.
Yeah, now the unique thing about the LS, the intake manifold, it's not the prettiest thing. So
No.
it leaves a lot of opportunity for builders like you to customize it. So
Yep.
what do we got going on this?
Well,
on
our
this
customer
tray
didn't
here?
want to see the coil packs and stuff, so I built this, hand-built this cover, and it all attaches to the factory hardware, so it just sits in and snaps down on there.
Right there. That's perfect. Now, what about the headers? Is that off the shelf, or did y'all have to build
Nope,
those?
those are ultimate headers. We ordered them, and they fit very nice. We didn't have to clearance them. We didn't have to.
So those are made for that LS and that chassis combination already. Well, that makes it a lot easier.
And then it's got full 3-inch stainless exhaust with bullet mufflers and header cutouts, of course. X pipe, all the good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, look at this firewall. That thing is super clean. The lights are reflecting right off that firewall. That's something.
Yeah,
most cars you don't really see that.
Yeah, this is we custom built this in house, so we replaced it from about here down. To add more room around here.
Right.
This one here was actually built for like a small block Chevy or something. This was the second one we done.
With the indentation.
Yeah, the newest ones we lower them down so this hole isn't so big if you have an LS. But it needs to be this tall if you put a small block in it for a distributor.
Right, the distributor in the back. Yeah. And this is something else. It's not a trailer queen. You're driving this thing as well.
We've got probably close to 1,200 miles on it so far.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we built this truck to drive. We didn't build it to take to shows. It just happened to turn out nice enough we can take it to shows.
And that's got to make you feel good as a builder, knowing that this thing's going up and down the road and it's reliable. And somebody is having their time of their life driving this thing.
Yes, we drive it every chance we get.
Our C10 needs a little shave to make room for our rear suspension. All right, so now that we got our factory cross members out of here, we got a nice clean section of frame rail to work with, we can go ahead and install this step notch. Now, Porterbuilt wants you to line it up, locate it off the bump stop bracket here, right in the center of this. This is gonna mount directly over this rear bump stop bracket hole. Now, you're gonna wanna scribe a line from the leading edge, so the edge closest to the front, and use a plumb bob to locate it up here. And that's gonna get you in the neighborhood. Now, you gotta trim up the frame rail a little bit, but I think Mike's gonna tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, the frame is too wide for that bracket to slide over. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and cut a little bit out so it slides right over it.
Yep, get it on.
All right, so we've got our notches installed on the frame, and we went ahead and attached the bridge assembly between the two to get it squared up. Now what we did is we took our level on the frame and made sure the frame was plumb, and then connected it up here, and as you can see, we're right where we want to be. Now the next step, drill the holes in the side here and get these attached permanently.
Got some hardware for you.
Perfect. Need them little hands to get in there.
And to stir the mashed potatoes, right?
Use my strong hand.
That's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
That's why I did that one first.
Yeah. I like it. I like doing things the hard way.
Here he comes with the power tools. Reach around that nut.
Mike. Michael. With our notches and bridge bolted up and torqued, we can start cutting our frame.
Just needs a little persuasion,
Just a little bit.
like this. Perfect.
There we go. All right, now it's a true short bed. All right. Well, now that our notches are in, we obviously shed some weight in the back here, but we got to add it because we won't have anywhere to mount the bed. So we'll go ahead and get these frame rails that Porterbuilt sends with this kit, get these installed, and we're going to have a complete chassis once again.
All right, before we tighten these down, I made some preliminary measurements on our old frame rail from the ground to the bottom of the frame here. So we're gonna go ahead and check those because this has got a lot of adjustment in it. Let's see where we're at. Dude, that's within 1/8 of an inch right there. So
I can live with that.
yeah. I'm gonna use my old adjustable jack stand here. All right, double check that again. Oh, money.
I mean, it's dead on.
Very good. All right. Well, that piece right there, that's super clean. It ties up those rear frame sections really nice.
Yeah, I mean, this kit went together beautifully. Everything's square, everything fit. I didn't have to fight it. And I mean, look at the welds.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, we still got a few more things we got to clean up with that notched area there on the old frame. We got some brackets to bolt in here. Ties in the suspension with, it's a Watts link that's going to go in the back here,
Yep.
but that's got to go to the rear end. And
We don't have that.
Yep, still waiting on that. That'll be on the next episode of
Music City Trucks.
See y'all later.
Hey, can I have that wrench? What? I need the wrench, I need the wrench.